Very good morning, dear students. Welcome back to the channel. Yesterday we were dealing about the chapter Gorilla in the Guest Room. So we ended the last line. Can you see here? Then we bundle Pungo, growling protest back into the crat and went off to catch the plane to Jersey. So now the author is taking the Pungo to his house. So they are flying towards Jersey. Okay, they are going by plane. So the next paragraph let's read. Okay, when we landed at the airport. When they landed where at the airport, I took Pungo out of his crat and we drove to the zoo with him sitting on my lap. So when they reached the airport, the author, the author took Pungo out of his crat. Okay. From the cage, Pungo was taken out and they went towards the zoo. Okay, they went to zoo. And while going by the car, the author kept Pungo where? On his lap. Okay, the author kept Pungo on his lap. And they were going where? They were going to zoo. He took a great interest in the cows we passed and occasionally turned around so that he could peer up into my face. So he took a great interest. So the Pongo was looking around from the car. He was looking around. He was looking cows and other things outside. And occasionally he turned around so that he could peer up into my face. So Pungo was looking out and he also was looking towards whom? Towards the author face. Alright, the next paragraph let us read. This paragraph, okay? When we arrived, I carried him up to our flat. So when they arrived, when they arrived, I carried him up to our flat. So when they reached, the author took Pungo to his flat. For his cage was not quite ready. His cage was not quite ready, and I had decided that he would have to spend a couple of days in our guest room. So for him, cage was not ready. Okay, cage. So the previous word we were saying what? Crat. And now cage. The cage where Pongo should be kept. But the author, the cage was not ready. Author did not arrange it. Did not arrange the cage. So that's why what he is doing, he is providing him his guest room. Okay, who? Author is providing guest room to Pungo. Let us see here. I had decided that he would have to spend a couple of days in our guest room. So cage is not ready. That's why the author is allowing Pungo to stay where? In his guest room as a guest. His grave. Okay, grave means serious. He was serious, courteous manner immediately won over both my wife and my mother, and belong. His grave, courteous manner immediately won over both my wife and my mother, and the Pungo was allowed only couple of days, only few days, but within those days, the way he behaved very well. He won over both. He wins over the heart of the author's wife and his mother. Pongo made them happy all, and they were so much happy by seeing his good behavior. Alright, and before long he was lying back on the sofa while they offered him delicacies. Okay, and the family members, okay, author's mother and wife, they provided him the delicious food, special food for him. Having previously suffered by keeping Chamli, the chimpanzee, in the house, so having previously suffered by keeping Chamli, the chimpanzee, in the house, so previously author also kept another chimpanzee. He kept for a few days. So in that time he had bitter experience. Chimpanzee could not behave well that time, so he had the bad experience about the chimpanzee. So now that the bitter experience it is having in his mind, so now he is thinking that this another Pongo, another chimpanzee, also will behave very badly. But what happened? Just the opposite happens. Everything I knew from the bitter experience that there was nothing like an ape for turning a civilized room into something closely resembling a bomb site in a very short space of time. So I watched Pongo like a hawk. So the author also was surprised. Author also was very much happy to see Pongo behaving very well. He was touched by his behavior and his courteous manner. So the author also watched Pongo how very closely observed, and the author was so much happy about the Pongo. Alright, so all the family members were happy about Pongo. Okay, author himself was so much happy because of his good behaviors. Also author's mother, wife, all of them was so much happy, and they kept him here in the guest room. And Pongo also was behaving very well, not like the previous chimpanzee who was not behaving well, but this Pongo is behaving very well. So now the next paragraph, when he became bored with lying on the sofa. Okay, so the Pongo used to remain in the guest room, right? When he used to be bored, when he was feeling boring, lying on the sofa, he decided to walk around the room to examine anything of interest. So Pongo was looking around. He was just moving around the room. He was exploring the things which are the things were there in the room. So he walked around slowly like a professor. He walked like whom? He walked slowly like professor. Okay, you also can think like about teacher, right? Teacher, how he guides in the class. Similarly, slowly, gradually, Pongo was moving around the room, and he was examining and exploring the things, whatever was there in the room. In a museum, he also behaved well there, pausing now to look at the picture. So he also was looking around the picture. He was observing the picture. Now to stroke an ornament. So ornaments were there, okay, in the wall. So he stroked the ornament, but doing it gently. He stroked the ornaments which was hanging on the wall, but he touched them gently, and there was never any danger that he would break anything. But he was touching them. He was exploring the things very in a delicate manner. He was not breaking anything. Okay, I was captivated. The author was captivated. Captivated means if you are captivated by someone or something, you find them very interesting. So you find something in somebody, something very good. Suppose you are very good writer, so you can say, I am captivated by your writings. So that the good quality. So here the author was captivated by Pongo's beautiful behaviors, okay, Pongo's courteous manners, and he was not breaking anything in the room. That's why the author was captivated, the author was touched by his good behaviors. Alright. So now let's start the next paragraph. Pongo, of course, did not leave the guest room in the condition of that he found it, but that was only to be expected. So Pongo, of course, did not leave the guest room in the condition that he found it, but this was only to be expected. So in the room, all the things were in its own place. Pongo was not breaking anything, not taking the things and keeping in the another place. Alright, the Pongo was not doing all those things. All the things were in good condition. Although his manners were excellent. See, although his manners were excellent. His manners were excellent. Whose? Pongo's manners were excellent. You also have good manners or not? All the students, my dear students, you also have your good manners. Manners are excellent, and those manners will keep you up, okay, and you will be appreciated by your manners. He was only a baby, okay, Pongo was only a baby chimpanzee, and could not be expected to automatically adopt civilized behavior because he was living in the house. So he was only a baby chimpanzee. Pongo was only a baby, okay, difficult to rear him up, okay, difficult to take care, but could not be expected to automatically adopt civilized behavior because he was living in the house. So it was, as for the author, sometime, as for him, it was difficult to civilize the Pongo, alright, since he was only baby, alright. So because he was living in the house, so the guest room, when he left it, bore numerous traces of his presence. So the guest room, when he left, Pongo, when he left the room, what did he leave? He left what? Numerous traces of his presence, numerous traces, the memories, how the Pongo used to remain in the room, all the good memories, okay, they were left where? In the mind of the author. Next paragraph. On one wall, something happened on one wall, okay, on one wall. You also can see here back, okay, on the wall, something red color. What is that? Let us see, okay, in this paragraph it speaks about this red color, alright. On one wall, for instance, was something was resembled a map of Japan, okay. Here you see the red color, and it resembles, it looks like, resemble means look like, okay, it look like similar a map of Japan. It looks like the map of Japan. How it is being created? Who made it? Let us see. This was nicely done in scarlet and was due to the fact that I had thought Pongo might like some tin raspberries. Okay. Here the author gave to Pongo what? The author gave to Pongo what? Raspberries. Raspberries were given to Pongo, alright. And what did he do? He ate it. He liked it so much and he ate it. So after eating, what did he do? He had liked them, and his enthusiasm at this new addition to his diet and resulted in the map of Japan. So Pongo also loved so much raspberries. He enjoyed, he ate, but what did he do? He had done something. What is that? The raspberries juice. Okay, raspberries juice. What he has done? He had splashed. He had thrown the juice of the raspberries where on the wall, and it is created, and he made it like what? He made it like the map of Japan. Understood? Yes, students, are you with me? Yes. Okay, be with me. Today we are going to complete our portion. All right, please pay attention. So now the next paragraph, this paragraph. Okay, there was also the fact that the handle on the door was bent in an odd way. Since Pongo, after receiving his meal, he attempted to follow me out of the room. So here you can see the handle. Okay, there was also the fact that the handle on the door, handle, you can see here handle. All right, handle. Dear students, handle, can you see here handle? This is the handle. All right, handle. There was also the fact that the handle on the door was bent. This handle was bent. Who has bent it? Let us see. Who has bent? You. Or let us see who has bent it. All right. So there was also the fact that the handle on the door was bent in an odd way. Since Pongo, after receiving his meal, had attempted to follow me out of the room. So when the author had provided the food to Pongo, Pongo used to follow the author. He used to come with him. So while he was coming towards the author, so he also might have touched very badly. He might have touched the handle very badly. That's why the door of the handle is being bent. All right, let's see. Knowing that the handle by some magical means open and close the door, so the way it is being made, understood? Here Pongo had spoiled the what? Pongo had spoiled the handle of the door. So the way he had spoiled it, what is happening now? Knowing that the handle by some magical means open and close the door. Now by itself it is opening and it is closing what? The door. But not knowing exactly how to turn it. So now it is being spoiled. Alright, now the author is not able to fix it. Okay, so he had merely pulled it downwards with all his strength. So he had merely pulled, the author is merely pulled it downwards with all his strength. As I tried unsuccessfully to bend the handle back into position again. So the author was trying to fix it. The author was trying to make it well. Okay, but I realized that Pongo was only about 2 years old and that his strength would increase in proportion to his size. So now only Pongo is how many years? Only 2 years old. Alright, suppose now he is having less strength, right? So when it will grow, okay, he will become a big animal, okay, in big size.